Alright, so there's currently a fire ban in effect here that includes charcoal barbecues, which unfortunately is how I cook most of my food in the summer. So I thought this would be the perfect time to try out my new cookbook from one of my new favorite chefs, Sheldon Simeon from Tin Roof in Maui. With over 1.6 million Koreans living in Hawaii, kimchi, spelled kimchi in Hawaii, is a favorite ingredient. In fact, the second recipe in the book is kimchi dip. You're gonna need a food processor for this. A knife and a bowl will work, but the processor is much easier. This dip is pretty simple, consisting of cream cheese, sour cream, grated parmesan, gochugaru, Korean hot pepper flakes, strained and chopped kimchi, and the juice of half a lemon. Give it a few quick pulses on low, then season with kosher salt and freshly cracked black pepper. Then mix on high until it's fairly smooth with just a little bit of chunkiness from the kimchi. Now because we're making a dip, I figured we could make our own chips as well. I'm going to be using russet potatoes since they're the quintessential potato for chips. And because I want thin, consistent slices, I'll be using my Japanese mandolin. I've used it before in several of my videos, and I've had people asking where to get it. So starting today, I'm going to have links in the description to any equipment I use in an episode. Now, I do make a commission off of these links, but I'm in no way being paid to endorse them. These are just things I've used for years, both at home and in restaurants. Before we start slicing, we'll need a large container or bowl filled with cold water and a few tablespoons worth of kosher salt dissolved into it. This will stop the potatoes from oxidizing while also helping to make them really crispy. How thin or thick you slice them is completely up to you. You do you. Just keep in mind, too thin and they'll be brittle and greasy, too thick and they'll likely get too brown before fully cooking. Now, just plain salted chips is great, but Korean barbecue chips is better. A mortar and pestle will absolutely work for this, but I do prefer a coffee or spice grinder. This one ingredient is completely optional, as it's not something you're likely to come across in even Asian or specialty stores. Dried soy sauce, and it's incredibly easy to make. A dehydrator is the easiest way, but you can use your oven set to the lowest temperature. I'll have exact directions in the description. The other thing to keep in mind is if at all possible, use a premium soy sauce, like this Korean brand, as the flavor you'll get is beyond compare. Add the dried soy sauce to the grinder along with freshly cracked black pepper, kosher salt, sugar, ginger, onion, and garlic powder, roasted sesame seeds, and gochugaru. Give it a few pulses, then blitz until you have a nice fine powder. Then just place in an airtight container like a mason jar. Not only is this a great chip seasoning, but it's good on fries and as a barbecue dry rub as well. Place a heavy bottom pot over high heat and fill it with about 2 to 3 inches of a neutral oil like canola. Use fresh, clean oil. That way you're less likely to burn them as they'll take a lot longer to brown. Once you've reached a temperature of 350 degrees Fahrenheit, working in batches, take small handfuls of the chips, shaking off any excess water, and carefully lower them into the hot oil. Never drop them from any height higher than an inch or so above the fryer to avoid splashing the hot oil. In the meantime, place some paper towel on a baking sheet or plate. Once the chips have turned golden brown and they've almost stopped bubbling, spread them out on the paper towel to soak up any excess oil. Lightly season them with kosher salt before generously seasoning with the Korean barbecue mix. Give them a toss and season again until every chip is covered. Then bust out your fanciest bowl and pile the chips high. Then bust out another fancy bowl and fill it with the kimchi dip. Top with some gochugaru, and in the recipe he recommends finishing it with some fried garlic, but I was too lazy to make some, so I just threw on some fried shallots I already had on hand. And that's it! Korean barbecue chips with kimchi dip. Now that the dip has had some time to rest in the fridge, the flavors were way more pronounced, and when eaten with the barbecue chips, was an actual party in my mouth. I highly recommend checking out Cook Real Hawaii. It's a great book full of easy and comforting recipes that anyone can make at home. If you like my channel and are interested in supporting it, you can check out my Ko-fi page. I'll leave a link in the description, and don't forget to like and subscribe, it really helps the channel. Thanks for watching, and stay awesome.